1, 2, 3. To me it seems you'll soon have lost your dreams, betting it all with steam. The cream of money you've lost, redeeming chips is gone, and these other players in this game are only meaning to harm your scheme of cashing out at the final table. They're trying to charm you, please can you not understand who holds what cards? Your team is you alone and nobody else can argue. He's not putting up a fight, he tries so hard, succeeding is getting closer just like the dark of evening. He can even tell how hard you're breathing when the pressure's on. He starts to reason with himself, wondering how many pots you're stealing. He goes all in when all he's got's a 3, and someone calls, he hits his quads on the end, and next time he's all in, he's pleading with the poker gods. He's screaming one time till he gets the pot, believing he wins first place before the whole tourney ends. He thinks it's surely meant to happen, cause he ain't gonna get rich off rapping. He stay quiet while everybody's jaws are flapping, and gets a read on everyone that's in every pot he plays. And then every time he folds, he knows he's better off laying down a few hands, so his table image doesn't look too loose to his fans or any other player against him, because sometimes he can. Sometimes it's all or nothing, you think you're onto something, you can't just call the bluffing. Your stack is tall, you're hustling, you practice cards since youngins, you table talk to button, you trap them all the stuckin', they pray to God they're sucking out. You gotta be all in, that's what it's all about. You gotta be all in, that's what it's all about. You gotta be all in, that's what it's all about. You gotta be all in, you gotta be all in. This guy started playing poker when he was just a kid. It was just something that he did to pass time. Now he's got a chance of going pro, cause last time he made it to the final table, he got a bad beat. Turns out the cards were able to topple the stack of even a pro, and you can believe that he could read as opponent, just like the deed to the house that he owns. And if he loses, he won't rent it out to anyone, cause he won't own it. So he's playing like his life's on the line, and in a sense it is, because there's a fine line between addiction and just picking which games to sit in, because you're pretty sure you'll win it. Even pros can go broke in a minute, but they always make their way back to the top. And with all the cash that they drop on gambling, it's no wonder they got bought in the tournaments a lot, and no wonder they got sponsored, because they respond to pressure by stepping up the game and getting better. If I was that good, I'd never work another job in my life, but I got a ways to go to get there. So until then, I'm playing free rolls every night. All in, all in. Sometimes it's all or nothing, you think you're onto something, you can't just call the bluffing. Your stack is tall, you're hustling, you practice cards since youngins, you table talk the button, you trap them all the stuckin', they pray to God they're sucking out. You gotta be all in, that's what it's all about. You gotta be all in, that's what it's all about. You gotta be all in, that's what it's all about. You gotta be all in, you gotta be all in. Sometimes your stack gets low, that's when you gotta go all in against a pro or any other foe. Sometimes you double up, sometimes you run with luck, sometimes you're coming up to play among the greats. Sometimes you lose it all, sometimes you knew they'd call, sometimes you fool them all, but you keep your face straight. Sometimes you got pot odds, sometimes your chips get robbed, sometimes your heart just throbs, but you gotta prove your name. Sometimes you know you're beat, sometimes you hit Fifth Street, sometimes you just get beat, but there's always another game. Sometimes you hit the nuts, sometimes you try to bluff, sometimes you're wising up to the thieves of blinds. Sometimes you hit your outs, sometimes you wanna shout one time till you're not out. And if you could rewind time, you'd probably play the same just as you always have, hoping that you get famous and have a lot of fans. Sometimes it's all or nothing, you think you're onto something, you can't just call the bluffing. Your stack is tall, you're hustling, you practice cards since youngins, you table talk the button, you trap them all the stuckin', they pray to God they're sucking out. You gotta be all in, that's what it's all about. You gotta be all in, that's what it's all about. You gotta be all in, that's what it's all about. You gotta be all in, you gotta be all in.